Tuesdays. I can never get the hang of Tuesdays. Anyway, how are you guys doing? Welcome to the show. It's good to see you. It's good to be seen by you. And who am I who says it is good to see anything? I'm Bill Sylvie, a.k.a. the Dungeon Delver, your concierge of creeping around castles. And this is my show. This is this thing that I do where I sit here for a few hours a night, 5 nights a week, count them, 5 nights a week. And we talk classic role-playing games. We talk classic role-playing game books, rarities, oddities, and they don't come much odder than yours truly. But I digress. Yang Yan Zhao in the house. Good to see you, buddy. How are you? So I'm just going to pour a cold one here. By which I mean I'm going to steal money from the Fjord Muir. And if you got that reference, you read too much Michael Moorcock. Or not enough. But anyway. So let that settle. How the heck is everybody this evening? You know, I want to share something. I'm going to be a little bit enigmatic about it. But I want to pass on some wisdom to you guys. Set deadlines for yourself and adhere to them. Turn off social media. If you have work to do, turn off social media. Install a browser on your computer that is strictly for work. Never log into YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Dig, Discord, anything on it. Except work-related things. Maybe even set up a separate account on the machine, like yangyanzhao-work, and just log into that. There's no games, there's no fun stuff. There's an office suite and a web browser, and just set up your host list so it'll go to Google and work-related things. Not even especially not MySpace. I don't care how many billions of people are using MySpace. All your base are belong to us. Yes, they are, a wig. And I was internet buddies with Jimbo Ray Robinson, who created All Your Base Are Belong to Us. May he rest in peace. And truly, I hope he found peace. But anyway, also, never doubt yourself. I'll explain all this someday, but honestly, I have found that I tend to do some of my better work when I'm under pressure. But sometimes that can lead to self-sabotage. But when you're done and you've handed it in, don't assume the worst. Unless it's a college algebra test, then you're fucked. What can I tell you? Anyhow, so tonight we're going to talk more deities and demigods, folks. We got part of the way through the Norse mythos, and we're going to plow through the rest of those. And then we're going to look at the Sumerian mythos and check out that particular set of myths. And then that is going to conclude the myths section of Deities and Demigods. But as we started with the how to God part, we're going to wrap up with the more how to God stuff. So that's coming up. If you're just stopping by for the first time, you're not a regular fan of the show, YouTube showed you this somehow, please click that subscribe button, click the bell icon for notifications, leave a comment below, leave a like on the video if you like it. You can dislike it if you don't. I understand. There's the sage advice from Volcano God. Disabled all notifications on my laptops, desktops, and leave them on for your phones and tablets. Good thinking. Good thinking. See, you know me, Volcano God, because you've been here. You've been in the dungeon, so you know that the PC is a big toy. If these monitors were better and I had a little bit more leg room, I would work over here and play over there at the editing PC. But anyway, so yeah, we're going to get into more Deities and Demigods tonight, and we're going to look at that. And then at 9 o'clock, that's less than an hour away in dog years. At 9 o'clock, we're going to play some first edition Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. We don't just talk theory. We don't just look at this under a microscope. We don't slice individual pages out of books to look at them like they are objets d'art, never to be touched, never to be interacted, never to be played with. And this is not a lark or a LARP. This is an actual thing we do. This is a living, breathing first edition Advanced Dungeons and Dragons game that you, audience, can watch as it unfolds. And I strive not just to entertain, but to inform. So please, if you have a question about what you're seeing on screen, the conversations, the interactions between myself and the players, and this is the international sign for interactions between myself and my players, please ask in the chat. We've got some of the smartest people on the internet when it comes to classic Dungeons and Dragons hanging around with us over here. So odds are you can get a good answer from them. If it's a question of nuance and I can, without interrupting the game too severely, answer your question, I will. Sometimes people ask me very textbooky things like, how do you handle unarmed combat by the book? Whoa! Hit me up on the Discord, which I linked to. If you go over there and go to the top, there is a link back to the Discord. And you can sit and you can watch the conversation scroll up if you like. But you can also ask me a question there that I can't shut the whole game down to answer. So all of that said, let us begin to begin. So I'll just move some windows around here. What can I say, guys? I feel stupid and contagious tonight. Although I better watch that kind of talk. That'll get me. YouTube will come after me for talking about the coof. Present screen. And who is this happy-looking fellow right here that we're going to take a look at first? Why, this is Balder, god of beauty, charisma. Balder, another Jeff D creation there. He's wearing a onesie. He's rocking it. He has armor class -4. He is a greater god, 388 hit points. He is neutral good, 12th level cleric druid, 10th level ranger, 20th level bard. Almost got the Odin stats going. Almost. Yeah, Vince. Well, is that... Yes, this is Kenny Rogers, god of the Bifrost Bridge. It tends to pick up as the evening goes on. This god is able to grant 2 points of charisma to any being he wishes once in their life. Those mortal females that look upon this god must save or become immediately enchanted with his beauty. Those enchanted must roll another magical saving throw. If they fail, they will follow his faith with slavish devotion for the rest of their lives. The god may ask those females with 15 or greater charismas to serve him personally in his holdings on a 1% chance. He cannot be harmed by any weapon without mistletoe in it. He lives in Gladstein on the halls of Bredarblik. And he is a smug SOB. Slavish devotion. Oh, did we scroll it past? I think we did. All right. He fights with a +3 two-handed sword, which does 3 to 30 points of damage. No female of any species can attack him, even if controlled by someone else. This sounds like a That Guy Mary Sue character, doesn't it? So my character can automatically charm all females, and he can never be attacked by them. I mean, come on. Bragi, god of poetry, eloquence, and song. Lesser god. He has armor class -4. He has 370 hit points. 2 attacks every 3 rounds for, 2 attacks every other round for 2 to 20 plus 11. So that's 13 to 31. He's also neutral good. He's rocking that cleric druid, 10th in each, 7th level ranger, 15th level magic, or 15th level illusionist rather, 23rd level bard. All beings with violence in their minds that come within 30 yards of Bragi while he is singing will be overcome by the god's song or verse. No save. Beings so affected will lose all of their former intentions and join this god for song and revelry until he is satisfied that they have learned their lesson, whereupon he will set them free. Bragi cannot have violence on his mind at this time, and either, and this power will not stop the enemies of the gods from fighting after the song is over. This power will work for up to 5 hours at a time with any given creature. Any humans hearing his harp of calm will cease fighting or quarreling for 7 days unless attacked in that time. This harp has all the powers of all magical bard instruments, plus the ability to stop any creature from attacking for a short period of time, plus the ability to uncharm anything. Jim Ward was channeling his inner 14-year-old power gamer here. I absolutely believe it. Oh, Wave called my singing a weird noise. Well, I'll just have to do more so you can associate yourself with it. There's a 5% chance that every bard of this religion at the time of their first performance in front of a crowd of more than 50 beings will be granted a great legend by the god in the form of knowledge of the nearest lost treasure in the area. The god strikes with a +2 sword for 2 to 20 points of damage. But honestly, he's a lover, not a fighter. Fenris Wolf, who is not a lover or a fighter. He is a chaotic evil 50-foot tall wolf that does 9 to 90 points of damage per attack, has 400 hit points, and is just all around bad news. This wolfish monster lived in Asgard due to a technicality that allowed the offspring of the gods, in this case Loki's, to remain unharmed by other gods. Yes, Loki sired a dog, but this dangerous creature could not remain free. The dwarves made the only chain that could bind it, forging it from thoughts and concepts. This silken golden thread stopped the creature from roaming, as it was unbreakable until the time of Ragnarok. The wolf's bite does 9 to 90 points of damage, and if the total amount of damage is more than half of the victim's hit points, he or she will be swallowed whole. In form, the creature looks like a giant timber wolf. I have this end table, by the way. Fjalar. Dwarven hero of the Durin race, 99 hit points, 2 attacks, 2 to 20 each. He is a 5th level cleric, a 10th level fighter, and a 10th level thief with pretty good stats. Fjalar often defends the dwarves against the fire giants or their allies. He uses 2 magical iron gauntlets in combat that let him punch for 2 to 20 points each with a +3 to hit ability. His knowledge of magical weaponry is so great that he cannot be hit by weapons of +2 or better quality because he's able to influence the magic properties of the weapon to make it shun his skin. Yeah, that might be the case, Wave. Fjalar is the battle leader of his people, and he is often called on by his race to bring vengeance down on their enemies. He sired a giant wolf, a sea serpent, an undead girl, and bore an 8-legged horse. Okay, so I know about the wolf and the sea serpent, but the undead girl, that one I don't know about. Forseti, god of justice, peacemaker, greater god, 389 hit points, lawful good, symbol, the head of a bearded man. He's a 15th level ranger, 10th level magic user, illusionist. I'm surprised he's not a paladin. If I'm being 100% honest, I'm surprised he's not a paladin. Jimmy, we're doing great. We're going through the Norse deities. This god's hall is Glitnir, which is said to be made out of gold and silver. He is the son of Balder and has never been known to lie. His sword does 1 to 10 points of damage and always hits a being that has lied in the last 7 days, or is chaotic. All evil beings suffer a -1 on their chance to hit this god, and he attacks all evil beings at a +2 bonus, both to hit and damage. A +3 or better weapon is needed to hit him. Let us move on. Forseti is called on time and again to decide matters in which Odin cannot be impartial. He's the attorney of the Norse mythos. I gotcha. With his ability to detect lies, he is often needed to ascertain the truth of certain stories the gods hear. Fossergrim, enchanted being. He has 5 hit dice. Very intelligent and neutral. Oh, they're multiple beings. They live in waterfalls. They appear to be normal men in chainmail and will act as such until attacked or someone tries to force them away from their waterfalls. They cannot live more than a mile from the falls they have made their home. They are said to mate with maidens who come to bathe in such places, and their offspring are always male and will always find a waterfall to live in upon reaching maturity. In battle, they cannot miss any being that stands in the water. In splashing water, they regenerate 5 hit points per melee round. Frey, god of sunshine and the elves. Well, aren't you just the god of sunshine? He's a greater god. Armor class -5, 388 hit points. Neutral good. 13th level cleric druid. 15th level ranger. 20th level magic user. 15th level bard. He's rocking the fur bikini there, courtesy of Jeff D. Frey is not an Aesir, but a Vanir, son of Njord and Skaldi. He is the god of fairyland and has at his command all of the elves of that land. He is also a weather deity and controls all manner of storms and calms. Frey's ship, the Skidbladnir, a gift from the dwarves, can hold all the gods in their mounts and travels at a rate of 60 inches. When not in use, it folds to fit in the god's pocket as a 1-inch cube. It sails according to the verbal direction of Frey. Frey owns a magical boar and horse. Details follow below. I was just thinking of that song. Don't go chasing waterfalls. Great little 90s R&B tune. The god lives and rules in Elfheim, fairyland, and when not there is served by a special mortal called Skirnir. Frey's +4 two-handed sword does 2 to 20 points of damage per hit in all creatures but giants. It does 10 to 100 points to fire giants and 550 to all other creatures. Blodug Hofi, Frey's horse. He is unique. He has 50 hit points. Very intelligent. Large. This horse teleports at will and glows with the light of day in any battle. This light kills all undead types with the touch of a light beam for those within 200 yards. Convenient. Blodug Hofi has a burnished coat of light brown and a pale white mane and tail. It fights along Frey in battle, and if its master is down, it stays near him to defend him, which it will do unto death. It fights as an 11-hit die monster, biting for 1 to 6 points of damage. Talk up. and kicking with each of its four legs for 1 to 10 points. Its code is fire resistant, giving it +4 on saves versus fire attacks, and subtracting 1 point of 1 point per die of damage taken. Gulin Bursty, Golden Bristles, Frey's Golden Boar. Oink oink. Villains and Vigilantes is one I've heard a lot about it, but I've never played it either, so I can't attest to its goodness or badness. My go-to superhero game was always Hero System. Which I know may disappoint a lot of you MSH fans out there, but I've never played MSH either. I should. Phase Rip. Anyway, Gulin Bursty, 100 hit points, 2 attacks for 2 to 20, regenerates. He's not very bright. This creature appears to be a giant rust-colored boar with head bristles of pure gold. Frey uses Gulin Bursty to pull his war chariot into battle. The boar was a gift of the dwarven race, and with a god on it, it can teleport where the god wills. It was much like Thor's goats in that it could be eaten during the day, and if its bones were not broken, it would regenerate at night from the bones and skin. It normally regenerates 1 hit point per round. The creature attacks as a 16-hit die monster. And we have Skirnir, Frey's Shield Man. He's a neutral good 9th level ranger, 5th level bard, with all the great stats. Intelligence is low-ish. This fighter is loyal to the god Frey and is always at his side in battle. A split second before he is struck by a blow or affected by a spell that would end his life, he is automatically teleported to Alfheim, whether he wants to go or not. He wears +4 chainmail and wields a +3 two-handed sword. And most pantheons have a goddess of love and fertility, and or one of the two. And the Norse mythos are no exception. Greater Goddess, armor class -3, 339 hit points. Neutral good worshippers align, neutral good and all lovers. So I guess a couple of chaotic good lovers could worship Freya. A little weird, but okay. By the way, Jeff, women's torsos don't work like that. That's not how that works. She looks like she swallowed a large piece of right angle plumbing. Anyway, she is a 15th level cleric, a 10th level druid, a 7th level ranger, 15th level magic user illusionist, and a 12th level bard. This lady has got it all. Freya commands all fire spells as a 30th level spellcaster and is able to remove any curse with a touch of her hand. She often travels in falcon guise, but can shape change into any bird form. When traveling in human form, she rides in a chariot pulled by 2 gigantic cats, which move at a rate of 18 inches. Freya uses a +3 frost band in battle. No avian or fire attack can hurt her. She possesses the necklace Brisingamen, a piece of jewelry of fantastic value, 1 million gold pieces, that glows when a lie is told in its presence. She also has a cloak of falcon feathers that allow her to fly in falcon form at a rate of 48 inches. This goddess is the leader of the Valkyries and sometimes accompanies them to choose the slain at the greatest battles. Freya is actually a Vanir and twin sister of Frey. Thank you, Praxis. Marvel Superheroes, MSH. Mantia Muscara plus Northern Lights. Aurora Borealis. At this time of day, at this time of year, localized entirely inside of your head trip. Frigga. Goddess of the atmosphere, wife of Odin. Make fun of her name at your own risk. Greater Goddess, armor class -4, 366 hit points. She's a shape changer, the damage attack and special attacks and defenses, etc. Lawful neutral. Her symbol is a large cat. She is a 15th level cleric, 7th level ranger, 18th level magic user, 10th level bard. All the good stats. Frigga is able to control all forms of weather and is able to view any area that has a breeze blowing through it. She has a magical necklace of black opals that will charm anyone or anything she wishes within sight of it. Magic saving throw applicable. The charm being will then be able to do nothing but flatter the goddess. Convenient. There is a 1% chance once per month that the goddess will personally deliver one worshiper who calls out her name from mortal danger. Aww. In battle, the goddess shape changes into creatures and fights with their powers. She starts out with dragon forms and goes to avian forms towards the end of any given battle. Her handmaidens are Valkyries. The names of some of them are Fulla, Vara, Lovn, Vor, Na, Ira, Lin, Sin, Jofin, and Snotra. In her role as Odin's wife, she is often worshipped by housewives and those seeking marriage. She spins flax into gold for Odin's clothes. Garm, guardian of the Hell Gate. It's a unique being. Lawful evil, 200 hit points, 95% in lair, has treasure H and U, damage per attack 6 to 60, 80% magic resistant. This beast is responsible for guarding the gateway to the land of the dead so that beings do not enter or leave. It looks like a giant dire wolf. You think they would just not have a gate? You know? If you die, your spirit can move through things. Why did we even put this door in? Why? Why did we put this door? What is this for? Why did we do this? Why do we have Garn? It's just so many questions. It looks like a giant dire wolf with a disproportionately large head. Over the centuries, it has fought and killed several heroes and gods who are trying to retrieve a loved one. Its treasure consists of the goods of those who unsuccessfully attempted to pass. I just rock up on him and be like, hey, puppy. I wouldn't try and get past him. The sight of this monster is so terrible that beings of 6th level or less will automatically flee in terror. So I guess I wouldn't. I'd be like, hi, blah! And run. That's very, very true, Jimmy. Yeah, Frigga is absolutely more sympathetic. I mean, saving her followers, not turning them into, stone ornaments, whatever. And those of higher level must save against a fear spell at -4. Garm obeys the laws of hell and is allowed to travel on all planes when hell is out collecting dead, and the way to her domain is magically closed. When it travels, it takes a pack of 20 dire wolves along for company. Garm attacks as a 16-hit die monster, biting with its huge jaws for 6 to 60 points of damage. Heimdall, the bright god, guardian of the Bifrost Bridge. He is, what'd that say? A greater god, 390 hit points, lawful good, 12th level cleric druid, 17th level ranger, 8th level bard, some rockin' stats. His main function is to guard Bifrost, the Rainbow Bridge. Heimdall always attacks with surprise and is gifted with exceptional senses, eyesight, hearing, and touch. If you've seen the Marvel Thor movies, you kind of got a handle on what he's like. His eyesight acts as an unlimited range and duration clairvoyance spell. I'm thinking they may have read this. He never travels about without his sword Hofud, head. This sword is a vorpal weapon and is also a sword of frost giant slaying. It inflicts 3 to 30 points of damage at a strike, plus Heimdall's strength bonus of 14, so it's 17 to 44. Heimdall wears +3 white armor into battle that has the same effect as a gem of brightness. His horn, called Yaller, is the alarm system for Asgard. Heimdall will blow a blast upon it to announce the coming of the frost giants, and the gods and their hosts will issue out to fight the last battle, Ragnarok. This horn is also sounded in a different way to proclaim a visitor. Definitely want to keep those sheets of music straight, Heimdall. Heimdall is a sworn enemy of Loki, who mocks him and his steadfast guardianship. Loki. Hel, goddess of death. Armor class -5, move infinite. 350 hit points. She's a greater goddess. Neutral evil. Symbol, her face. 20th level cleric, 10th level druid, 12th level ranger, 15th level magic user illusionist, 15th level assassin, 10th level bard. All the crazy good stats. Drawing by Jeff D. A lovely drawing, if that's what you're attracted to. Death goddesses. This goddess causes plagues, diseases, and pestilence with a wave of her hand. Those things will afflict the beings she looks at, taking away 5 hit points per round until they are dead or cured. She strikes with a +3 sword that also causes disease whenever it hits, and does 5 to 50 points of damage at a blow. Within a 90-yard radius of her body is an aura of withering that subtracts 20 hit points from all of those not making their magical saving throws. She is also totally impervious to all physical weaponry. The goddess of death lives in a dismal palace in the area of Hades known as Niflheim. She appears as a gaunt woman whose body is completely white on the left side and jet black on the right. The left half of her face is totally blank. She rides a white spectral 3-legged horse. Idun, goddess of spring and eternal youth, a lesser goddess. She is chaotic good. She is a 15th level cleric, 14th level druid, 7th level ranger, 13th level bard. This goddess protects the apples of youth, which the gods eat to remain immortal. These apples are able to return 10 years of youth and restore up to 50 lost hit points per bite. Per bite! Yeah, you get your hands on one of those, you don't know what it is. You start eating before you know it. You're a baby. You're a baby. You're an infant sitting there in Asgard with an apple core at your feet. Odin's going to come along. I know what you did, friend. Scoop you up, take you to the nursery. That's what awaits you if you try this. These apples are always carried in a 1 foot by 1 foot wicker chest, which always appears full of apples, but can hold any amount of them put in it. Idun is the wife of Bragi. Note, she is the wife of Bragi. And, of course, we have Jormungandr. His body has infinite hit points. Guys, we could be in trouble here. Armor class 3. Size 25,000 miles long. Jormungandr was the offspring of Loki and the giantess Angerbada, and was the brother of the Fenris wolf and Hel. By custom, Odin could not slay divine progeny, but he feared the monster would cause trouble and threw him into the sea when he was young. Jormungandr grew unchecked until at last he circled the earth and could bite his own tail. It is the writhing of this great serpent that causes the tempest. Thor has tried many times to slay him, but the Norns have foretold that he will not succeed until the day of Ragnarok, when he will drown in a sea of venom from the dying serpent. Since the Midgard serpent circles the world, he can shift his body and locate his head anywhere he desires in one melee round. The head is the only vulnerable spot on this monster, since he can regenerate all damage in the melee round after it is inflicted. This means that 300 or more points of damage must be delivered to its head in one round in order to kill it. If Jormungandr is slain, all beings within 50 feet of the head must save versus poison at -5 or die as the creature spews forth its venom. Attacks on the body of the serpent can be made, but they will prove fruitless as the body, like the head, will regenerate all lost hit points in the next melee round, even if totally severed. Jormungandr bites once per round for 5 to 50 points of damage, and anyone thus bitten must save it poison at -5 or die within 2 melee rounds from the extremely potent venom. The serpent can also make 1 constriction attack per round near its head or anywhere along its body, doing 10 to 100 points. It attacks as a 16-hit die monster. Shocker. And there he is. Never have I seen the apparition of chaotic evil fit a being as well as good old Lokai here. Greater God, God of mischief, strife, and fire. Chaotic evil. Pandemonium or Gladsheim. 12th level cleric druid, 12th level ranger, 11th level magic user, 20th level illusionist, 15th level assassin, 5th level monk and bard. Great set of stats. While this god moves among the others in Asgard, he is known to be the one most likely to betray them to the giants. Depending on his current status with the other gods, he makes his home in Gladsheim or Pandemonium. He is tolerated because he is blood brother to Odin and has acted in the far past to save Asgardians from certain death and destruction, because he wants to watch them all die in Ragnarok. You got a portable hole the size of the moon, Bob? While the god can shape change at will, he usually relies on his power to force beings to do what he desires via his suggestion power. Looking at the god for 3 melee rounds or more negates all saving throws against that suggestion, and this applies to all beings. Magic resistance is still effective. He wears a pair of boots that combine the powers of water walking, flying, traveling, and speed. Bold move, brother. Though Lokai cannot be magically controlled, illusions will work on him, but only when cast by beings of greater than the 20th level. The god's colors are red and black, and he wears them at all times, even when in the guise of something else. Magni, god of strength. I wonder what Magni's strength is. Lesser god, 325 hit points. Number of attacks to 8 to 80 points. Just in case you're wondering what it might be like to get smacked by a Norse god. 8 to 80 points. He's chaotic good. Strength 25 special. Oh, I can't wait to see what that's all about. And some other pretty good stats. 15th level fighter, 5th level bard. Thor's son. This god transcends the normal definition of strength in the AD&D sense, in that his was supposed to be almost limitless. He can bend anything he can grip, put his fist through anything, lift nearly anything, judge's option, even things that are supposed to be unliftable like his father's hammer. Any material object thrown at him, he can catch and throw back at the caster, hitting 90% of the time. And with his +3 hammer, he does 8 to 80 points of damage per strike. This god is so tough and hardy that blunt weapons of any type cannot harm him. Leave your magic mace at home. Leave your rod of disruption at home. Leave your staff of striking at home. Modi, god of courage and berserk rage. Get the humanoid. Oh, sorry, that's god of berserker. Damage per attack, 25 or 50. Hit points, 379. He's a lesser god. He's chaotic good. Sword and hammer crossed. Great set of stats. 15th level fighter, 9th level bard. Does a man need any more? He does not. Using a Vorpal blade that strikes for 25 points of damage per hit, plus its decapitating power, Thor's son Modi is always in the forefront of any battle, and his presence inspires his followers with such courage that they do an extra 4 points of damage per hit, affecting all those in a 90-yard radius. He is immune to all forms of magical control or illusions. In battle, the god is able to know when the best time comes to retreat and regroup his forces for best effect. After the god has sustained more than half his hit points in damage, he will go into Berserker Rage, which allows him to double all his powers in combat, so that he hits 4 times for 50 points per hit. If he wants you dead and you have 400 hit points, you're going to die if you hurt him. The Norns, the Fates. They are neutral. They are 12th level cleric druids. They are 15th level magic user illusionists. They are 10th level thieves. They are 8th level monk bards, and they are 5th level rangers. Number of attacks, 1 damage per attack, 1 to 10. If you really want to get into a fist fight with the ladies that pretty much decide when you're born, what you're going to do, and when you're going to die, and how. Greetings, Chris. We of Midgard say hello. The Norns, called Erd, Verdandi, and Skald, represent the past, present, and the future, but they are only willing to tell of these things as long as they deal with themselves or answer questions of slight import. They travel about the prime material plane in the form of swans, and in this shape they deal out fate in the form of prophecy. At the birth of every mortal male, they know the babe's fate, what the babe's fate will be, and may tell it if presented with expensive gifts of gold and silver 1% of the time. They tend the tree of life called Yggdrasil and often advise the gods on special situations. They fight with daggers when forced into this situation, and their weapons do 1 to 10 points of damage, plus the magical bonuses of subtracting 1 point from every ability score the being has. No saving throw allowed. They are immune to all non-magical attacks. They can only be hurt by magic or magical weapons. It's not nice to mess with Mother Fate. The Norns are not normal goddesses and do not have worshippers as such. They weave the web of fate impartially. Sif, goddess of excellence and skill in battle. And slightly odd hand pose. Why is she doing that? You guys can see that there. Why is she doing that? Anyway. Sif is chaotic good. She is a greater goddess. Is she a greater goddess? I'm pretty sure she's a greater goddess. Lesser goddess. That's okay, Sif. We love you just the same. 12th level druid, 12th level ranger, 12th level monk and bard. Thor's wife, Sif, has beautiful golden hair, a gift from the dwarves, and is dressed in white and silver most of the time. She uses a +3 sword in battle, which does 3 to 30 points of damage, plus her strength bonus. She is the patron of young warriors, and there's a 1% chance that a first-level fighter devoted to her may receive a special bless spell if he or she prays to Sif before a battle. Surtur, Lord of the Fire Giants. Blah, 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 blah. Lesser God, 380 hit points, damage per attack 6 to 60. He's lawful evil. His plane is Jotunheim. He is a 15th level cleric, a 20th level fighter, 5th level magic user illusionist. Most fire giants regard Surtur as their leader and their deity deep in Jotunheim. Surtur waits for the day when he can lead the fire giants to the great battle of Ragnarok. Surtur looks like an immense fire giant with crackling flames for hair and eyebrows. He wears heavy iron armor, which is hot to the touch, 1 to 10 points of damage to any who contact it with exposed flesh, and wields a 15-foot flaming iron sword. He strikes with this twice per round, inflicting 6 to 60 points of damage on a hit. Surtur is immune to fire attacks of any kind. So don't bring your flamethrower to the Surtur fight. That holds for fire giants too in general. And, whoops, we scrolled up past him. Thor, God of Thunder, Greater God, 399 hit points, because you don't get one in on the old man. 399 hit points. Great stats, int and wisdom, as gods go, merely average. Thor appears as a large red-haired and red-bearded man dressed in what and yellow? Black and yellow +3 chainmail. He rides through the sky on his golden chariot, which is pulled by 2 magical goats, Tengrisnir and Tengjost. Thor is a particular friend to mankind among the Norse gods and will often alert his worshippers to incursions of evil. The god often fights on Gladsheim against giant types, and his name is enough to make giants check morale. When within 90 yards of him, the servants and allies of Thor gain a benefit of +2 on all die throws. Careful, Bob. You hurt yourself on that. Thor's normal strength is 25, but he has a magical girdle and magical glove, which enable to exceed even this limit. Megan Yarder, his girdle gives him the strength to wield his mighty hammer, described below, and enable him to break any barrier or object. His magical glove, Yarn Grieper, gives him the ability to strike 3 times per melee round and to handle his hammer even while red hot. Mjolnir, Thor's +5 magic hammer, has the following abilities. Does 10 to 100 points of damage, can be thrown 200 yards and never misses when thrown. It returns to Thor's hand automatically. If Thor throws Mjolnir, that is his only attack that round. It is so heavy. It can cast lightning bolts at any target within sight, up to a total of 100 dice of lightning bolts per day. This base 100 dice can be broken up into lightning bolts of any size. 25 4-dice bolts, 10 3-dice bolts, 170 dice, etc. It is so heavy that beings with a strength of 25, only beings with a strength of 25 can lift it, and it requires more than a 25 strength to wield it as a weapon, unless you're Captain America. When Thor throws Mjolnir, it trails a lightning bolt behind it, and when it hits, there's a large clap of thunder, which affects all beings within 30 feet as a power word stun. If any other being uses a lightning spell within 200 inches of Thor, it will automatically turn and strike the caster, whether the thunderer wills it or not. If you're on Thor's side, stick to Fireball, stick to Ice Storm. Don't cast a lightning bolt. Thank you, Chris. I was worried. All of Thor's clerics rely on hammers for their weapons. And no, he gets 3 attacks per round because of his glove. And let's just take this in for a minute. This is this absolutely to die for Jim Rosloff plate of Thor fighting the Midgard serpent. Gosh, I wish Jim was still with us. Tengrisnir and Tengjost. By the way, I just want to say something real quick about Thor. Look, I get it that there's a lot of people that don't like the Marvel movies. Like up to Endgame, like I'm all in, with the exception of Captain Marvel. I'm all in. I think they're great. For my money, even if you don't like Taiki Wata's the battle on the Bifrost Bridge when Immigrant Song starts playing, for cheesy action movies, it doesn't get any better than that. So these 2 goats, 100 hit points, attack 3 times for 3 to 24 points of damage. What do you think, Chris? Can we take them? These 2 enchanted animals are used to pull Thor's chariot through the air and on the land. The creatures are often eaten by Thor and his friends as they magically regenerate from the bones and skins with the light of the morning sun. They appear as giant goats. Tengrisnir is white and Tengjost is black. They attack by butting with their large horns. They add +6 to damage inflicted when they charge, and they attack as 16-hit die monsters. Thrym, Lord of the Frost Giants. I'm going to go out on a limb and say Thrym is definitely not a good guy. He's chaotic evil. He is a 10th level cleric, 20th level fighter, 3rd level illusionist. Thrym is both leader and deity of the Frost Giants. Like Surtur, he waits for the day when he can lead the Frost Giants against the Aesir. In the last battle, Thrym wields a huge +3 double-bladed axe, which inflicts 4 to 40 points of damage on a hit. He wears a coat of white fur over his suit of chainmail. Otherwise, he appears much like an oversized frost giant. Thrym has 10 brothers who are in most ways like normal frost giants. However, each has 100 hit points and attacks as a 16 hit die monster. We may not make it all the way through the Norse mythos tonight, boys and girls. We'll see. Tyr, god of war and law. He's a greater god with 380 hit points. And one hand. That's all I need. He is lawful good. 25th level paladin. One paladin in the whole gosh dang pantheon so far. And he's 25th level. Because of course he is. Oh, all the 1E art is amazing. 13th level druid, 10th level illusionist, 15th level thief. Yeah, I'm a paladin thief. What of it? I can pick your pockets, but I'm okay with it. 10th level monk bard. Appears as a powerful looking bearded man who has lost his right hand. It was the losing of this hand that firmly established Tyr as the god of law and trust. When the dwarves finally forged a cord that could bind the Fenris wolf, the great monster would only consent to having the cord put upon it if one of the Aesir would place his hand in the wolf's mouth. Tyr, knowing what was planned, placed his right hand in Fenris's mouth without hesitation. When Fenris found that he was bound, he bit off Tyr's hand, but he could not escape. By honoring this contract, Tyr became the god of law. In his aspect of war god, Tyr watches over the Valkyries and makes sure that only the most valiant mortal warriors are taken to Odin at Valhalla. Not him. He pooped himself. Yes, sir. They're dead. They all pooped themselves. Tyr wields a +3 sword in his left hand that does 2 to 20 points of damage on a hit. He automatically senses the presence of any thief who comes within 100 inches of him, and he can see invisible objects. Wave. Jesus. Wave said one hand because Loki made sweet love to the other, and so he lopped it off. Oh my God. Ullr, lesser god of hunting, archery, and winter. He's chaotic neutral. He's a 13th level druid, an 18th level ranger, a 12th level illusionist, and a 12th level assassin, and a 12th level bard with a raft of great stats. No, Chris, he's brave. Bravery is the act of knowing you're going to die, but saddling up and riding out anyway. Ullr was once a great god, but his power has waned with the ascension of Odin. As the great hunter of the Aesir, Ullr spends a great deal of time in the wilderness of Asgard and is thus immune to the effects of the elements. He cannot be harmed by fire, coal, lightning, or any of the various elementals. Though Ullr is in many ways an outsider, the other Aesir have a high regard for his capabilities, and he has been known to temporarily rule in Odin's place when Odin was elsewhere. Ullr is the patron of archers and a mighty bowman. He uses a +5 longbow. It can shoot at any target that he can see with no range penalties, and he never misses targets less than 200 inches away. He also wields a +4 two-handed sword that strikes for 2 to 20 points of damage, plus strength bonuses. Ullr is also the god of winter, and sometimes give aids to those less able to survive it than he. Damien says, I wonder if Tyr has those thief levels to sneak his troops to the most opportune spots. Good question. Well, guys, we are at the top of the hour now, and we're getting AD&D is going to happen. It's about to happen. It's happening. But anyway, so we're going to leave off the Norse gods for the evening. We still have some to go. But before we jump into AD&D, and please stick around for AD&D. Please stick around for all this stuff, because it's all good. All the stuff I do is good. No, let me just take a minute, because as you see, the crab has been dutifully holding up the ticker along the bottom. If you'd like to support the show, you can support us on Patreon. You can support us on Subscribestar. You can support us directly through PayPal if you like, or you can just buy me a coffee if that's what you want to do. If you don't want to get in the whole super chat thing and you feel like you want to materially contribute to the show, that's awesome. I appreciate it. But hey, the best thing you can do is like and subscribe. Click the bell icon for notifications. But there are those, once again, who have contributed to the ongoing success of this show and all my endeavors. They literally keep the lights on around here. So let me take a hot moment and thank them. I want to thank you all. So let me say thank you to Joshua Garlock, Lord Corion, Ricky Maru, Mobius, Kevin Reynolds, Doomsword Deathmaster, Mark Simpson, Damien247, James F. Keck, William Smith, The Dungeon Minister and Manny Wall, Mark Corey, Kevin Wood, Todd Sharp, Carnivore Farmer, Rob, Jeremy Rule, Bo Ganora, Mikey Mank, Sky Hernstrom, Pete Sullivan, the DM's Council, and Baron Von Headbanger, whom you might see very soon. So those guys absolutely are worth my thanks. So thank you to them. Thank you to them. So the show's not ending. Okay. Show's not ending. We're going to be getting to AD&D here momentarily. Now tomorrow night, we're going to keep on. Don't worry. Deities and Demigods isn't over. Calm down. Settle down. Guys, there's more Deities and Demigods. I promise. We're not just stopping. Who started that rumor? Who was that? Bob, was that you? Were you telling people we're just done? We're just going to quit without finishing? No, I didn't think so. I just got to get to the bottom of who does these things. Anyway, so there's more Deities and Demigods tomorrow night. I'm sorry, Thursday night, because tomorrow night we're going to be playing Classic Traveler. My awesome esoteric kung fu co-host, the Thunder from Down Under, the Australian Bill Sylvie, Kyle Schuant will be here, and we will be playing Classic Traveler. Not me, baby. I'm not running it. Kyle's running it. I'm out here with the pew-pew and the D6 rolls and trying to keep my cool crew of space adventurers from, I don't know, buying and selling artificial intelligence computers when I've explicitly forbidden them to do so. So that's what's happening tomorrow night. And we are playing some Gamma World on Friday. But in the in-betweens, we're still going to be doing Deities and Demigods talk. This has been a long trip with Deities and Demigods. How long has it been? Does anybody remember when we started this? I feel like we started this, back in October? Like mid-October? I don't know. But we will probably wrap it up, if not this week, the next week. What do we do for content after that? I don't know. Maybe you guys have some suggestions. You can join us over on the Discord and put them down in the computer. This is the international symbol for putting things into Discord, by the way. If you know somebody who knows sign language, you can just say at them and they'll go, oh, Discord, right. Don't do that. I don't know. But anyway, so yeah. Cthulhu, more Call of Cthulhu. Well, maybe we'll shift a little bit away from pure D&D content. There's always D&D to talk about, but we'll see. We'll see. Jimmy is really happy Traveler is back. That's a symbol for that's a symbol for synth pop. They would be confused. They'd be like, New Order, Joy Division, Human League. I don't know what you're, and I'm trying to tell them Discord. Let's read the Fiend Folio. Let's nod and say we did. Better yet, let's not even say we did. I don't know about just a monster book breakdown like that, guys. I might have a breakdown. So we're waiting on a couple more players. We are officially past the start line. So we are waiting on a couple of players. I see y'all in the green room. Settle down. Stop. Mark, stop throwing things at the walls. Please, the craft services people. Think of them. Jeez. Prima donna talent. I'm sorry, guys. What can I tell you? What can I tell you? Geography of Oath? Maybe? I just wanted you to say more cock. Exercise the horse. I'll take the horse and walk it around the yard for you guys. Put that on stream. Bring on the wacky fiends. I have a ton of games here. Maybe I should dive into some of that stuff that Volcano God donated to the show before I sell it all off. Look at Vasen, or Things from the Flood, or the remake of classic Car Wars. I don't know. Leiber's War. You just want me to sit here and read Fritz Leiber's Lords of Quarmal? I don't think too many people would line up to make me do that. Wave, you're embarrassing your mother and I just before the holidays. Could you please? Planescape. I don't do Planescape, which is not a patch on Planescape. It's just a 2E thing. So I don't, I know very little about Planescape other than it is a most beloved campaign that honestly deserved better than AD&D. I think Planescape deserved better. Planescape deserved its own system. It is such a unusual thing. Like, I think it should have been hooked into AD&D somehow, but been a separate system. I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain. You tune in for some Liber reading. I don't know. But I tell you what I do have coming up. Now, this is going to be after the first of the year. I cannot plan this with all the stuff I've got going on in real life and on the show. I can't really say, I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to plan a new thing and put a new thing on top of the stuff that I already do. Oh, wave. Oh, wave. So this is definitely going to be after the first of the year in January. This will not be on the live show, but it will still be on this channel unless it just gets so popular that I feel like I can spin off a secondary channel just for that content. But I'm going to be doing pre-recorded videos. And look, I want you guys, this is going to be a feedback loop we're going to get into here, a positive feedback loop. But what we're going to do is, there's a lot of great channels on YouTube that talk about tabletop role-playing game cringe. You know, people that took the game too seriously, people that got creepy towards their players, dungeon masters who were the rocks fall and everybody dies, and I giggle like a little girl about it because, haha, I'm so bad. Edgelords, that guys, Mary Sue's, Gary Stews, the list just goes on and it would stack to the heavens, right? And those channels are good. They're good. They're a lot of fun. I'm not saving it for next October. Good Lord. Those channels can be very good and they can be a lot of fun. But what I don't see anybody doing is bringing the positive stories. And I mean, I don't just mean like, and then we threw the bigoted jerk out of our game and we've had fun ever since. At the end of like a 15-minute tale of woe and sorrow that this person inflicted, that's not a positive story. That's a positive end to an otherwise terrible story. So what I'm going to be doing is a series of pre-recorded videos, shorter ones, called Tales of Tabletop Triumph. I want the positive gaming stories. I've got a bunch I can share initially, hopefully to prime that pump. And it doesn't have to be positive in the sense that I only want stories of when the players won. I mean, if you all had a good time and it was dramatic high role playing, but it was a total party kill, but everybody was still friends and it was awesome, tell me about that. Tell me about that. I want to hear all of those cool things that you guys have seen and done at the table. Positive stories, because our hobby needs positivity right now. We got negativity pressing in from this direction, negativity pressing in from this direction. Let's get positive, guys. All right? So we're going to be doing that in the first of the year. Tales of Tabletop Triumph. Look for those videos right here on the channel, at least initially. I'll let you know if I'm going to move those two different channels. So anyway, with that said, it looks like my group is here. So I'm going to don the headphones of Holy High Fidelity and let me welcome in Marcus Abner, or as I call him, Mabner, Doomsword Deathmaster, TK as Sir Outlier, the dwarf, and welcoming live and in color, the one, the only Baron Von Headbanger, who will be joining us in this endeavor. Gentlemen, bid you good evening.
What's up?
Howdy.
We have a full crew.
We do. We have 4 players. I mean, we have a downright acceptable number of characters to monsters that I'm going to be throwing at you.
Awesome. I think it is fitting that I'm using a dragon claw for that.
Excellent.
Okay.
All right.
Grab my dice.
So,
Okay.
Adventurers, you had just basically slain a whole bunch more troglodytes and also collected up some not inconsiderable bling, had you not?
Yes.
Some had jewelry, right?
Yes.
Yes. You had you had scooped up many of those jewelry items.
I think we may have gotten all the way out of the cistern, I think.
We did.
My memory cuts off at us debating whether or not to cut and run, so I'm glad somebody remembered yeah.
Yeah, I think the very last thing we did was made it to the longhouse, and we just left it alone right there. I know we hadn't looked at the jewels yet in terms of appraisal, And I know that that's something that I wanted to do right away.
That's right, because I do have enough to go and level. I think it's my fighter one more time.
But more importantly, there's a mysterious shadowy figure that seems to be lurking somewhere.
Well,
How do we get them involved?
fear not, I, the dungeon master, have plans. I have plans within plans, wheels within wheels, Dungeons and Dragons games within Dungeons and Dragons games. And don't ask me to explain that because it gets very, very meta.
Then stop bragging and enact.
I have done it before, by the way. Just don't ask. But anyway, so you have. Let me see. Somebody want to check me here? I've got you as having 5 pieces of gold or 5 pieces of jewelry.
That at least 5, yes.
Yeah,
We had 4 off the first one, and then all I wrote at the end was more jewelry. I got vague at the end with my notes.
I counted 3 on one, 2 on another, and I think 1 on one more, maybe. Because
I wanted to say it was 6.
There were 3 of those big dudes with jewelry that we killed. So.
Yeah.
So in AD&D, lizard men, those guys would have been called lizard kings. What is the lizard king version of a troglodyte?
You don't know. You've not fought a troglodyte king. So you are unsure. They're just in the Dungeon Master's Guide. They're just Monster Manual. They're just listed as chieftains.
Big guys. Since we've discovered them, maybe we could name them after ourselves.
Let's see.
And actually, I don't qualify for a 5th level of fighter. I qualify for a 5th level of cleric.
Okay.
No, that's even better.
Just clarification for the party in case you needed, if you want somebody to cast Cure Disease, Abner, cough, 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 cough. I will be able to do that once per day or whatever.
You have cleric harder.
Yes, I can now cleric harder. Well, soon I will be able to cleric harder. But yes, let's get the new guy in.
Yeah, and I'll take a look at that jewelry whenever. Well, Turgo, take a look at the jewelry whenever we're back in when we're settled down and don't we're sure we don't have anything else that we need to do immediately.
Okay, so as to the values of the items, this is you're not sure what the troglodytes may have robbed, what hordes they may have gotten this stuff from, but this is this is some fairly expensive looking jewelry that they've got.
Yeah, this looks excellent.
So yes. Are you going to stop at the Longhouse, well, obviously you're going to stop at the Longhouse and collect any guards and men-at-arms and horses and whatnot, correct? But you're not staying overnight or anything there?
We are going to stay overnight. I will refuse. I am not moving ass until I have at least rested for 4 hours and can administer some level of healing to a couple of individuals. Actually, I still have 3 cure light wounds left. Actually, well, technically,
Abner's going to want to sleep on it sleep overnight so he can regain his usual complement of arcane arts.
Who wants a cure light wounds? I have one spare before my cures reset.
I'm fine.
Yeah, I'm fine too. Actually,
I'm going to use it on myself then. I get 5 back.
All right.
And then, do you want me to roll for the other ones, DM, or can I rest for yada yada and we just get our hit points back? Blah blah blah.
Well, I mean, you'll get a hit point back as you rest, but if you want to cast the other ones now, that's up to you.
I meant after we rest for 4 hours. Rest for 4 hours, get my cure lights back. Repeat.
Yes. Okay. We'll roll for that.
Okay.
All right.
And Turgo would like to look at that jewelry, being that his secondary skill is as a jeweler and lapidary.
Okay. Then it is. It's fairly easy to identify once you wash the disgusting sebum and other horrible things from the skin of the troglodytes off of it. So you got 7 pieces of jewelry here. One is a 4,000 gold piece with gem amulet. The whole affair is easily worth 8,000 gold.
Wow.
Yes. There is a decorative bracer of wrought gold that is worth 1,400. A silver belt studded with diamonds and emeralds that is worth 6,000. A near twin gold belt. However, it's got way fewer gems, so it's probably only worth 5,000. A thin bracelet of wrought gold you reckon is worth around 700. A wrought silver and gold ring that is worth perhaps 600. And an armband studded with coral, polished coral, pink and green, that you estimate, given the rarity of coral in this part of the world, is probably worth about 1,000.
Excellent. Thank you.
So all total, do you think you've got somewhere in the neighborhood of 22,000?
Dope.
It's amazing.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'll inform the group of the results on that. And Abner, that's assuming that all of this stuff is ordinary. You know, I don't know, obviously, whether or not some of it is magical in nature.
I cannot discern if it is magical or not. Oh, yes, I can. Well, tomorrow I can.
Perfect.
That's also assuming. I'm going to assume that we'll get 15 for it if we're lucky. But
oh, you mean because of someone taking a cut? Sure.
Yeah.
But we know a guy.
But we know. Yeah, exactly.
Mhm,
I'm saying if we're lucky, he'll give us 15.
Yeah.
If he's lucky, he'll give us 20.
His profit margin's not that slim.
So in the morning, Abner is suggesting the plan B. In the morning, he'll quickly cast Detect Magic. He could probably do that while we're traveling on the cart. And
Okay.
go back to the city. Does that sound like a good plan, rest of gentlemen?
Yep. And according to my rolls, it'll take 3 casts of Cure Light Wounds, 2 on myself and 1 on a follower, and otherwise we'll be all back up to snuff.
Sweet.
Alrighty. So your henchman, not hireling, henchman, he took some pretty hard knocks himself, so he's going to need some healing also.
Oh, okay. That I did not.
Forgot.
That I did not know. Well, hold my beer. Sadly, my god doesn't like Darawesh. I went to cure him twice, and I got 1 point each time.
Okay, well,
I'm going to consider that a divine rejection on his part, and ask him to pray more and donate more to the church.
I will endeavor to do so, sir. Okay, so you rest up the night and may cast more healing spells as you like before you depart for the day, or you may depart straight away.
I'll see if my god likes him better today. Yes. Okay. Whatever he did during his morning constitutional, he gets 7 hit points back.
Okay, that should bring Darwash to full. All right, and so you depart. We will...
And then we get eaten by trolls.
Yep.
Yeah. The huge ancient green dragon lands. Gas. Roll up new characters, everyone.
Story of triumph for you, though. My party just beat their first dragon at level 2.
Excellent.
And you're gonna kill all of them.
The only thing you see on your first day's journey, which takes you to the acreage of the Last Chance Inn, is a nearby herd of bison, and unless you wish to tamper with them, they will leave you alone. Anybody feel like getting trampled? Anyone at all? I can start rolling damage.
Nope.
All right. Are you stopping at the Last Chance Inn?
Yes.
Sure.
Okay.
I'll roll out a tapestry that says something to the akin of now hiring.
Well, as you are doing that, you notice that the Last Chance is fairly lean on guests right now, and wouldn't you know it, but a fellow who looks a lot like Baron von Headbanger is there. So please, Baron, describe your character to the party and how you approach them if you choose to.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
He's kind of a tall, about 6'3", 6'4", young guy. A little green, but he looks like he's seen a little bit of action. He's wearing chainmail, and he looks kind of paladin-y.
Kind of paladin-y. Can you describe to us in simple words, without using paladin as an adjective, how that translates into his demeanor?
Sword and board?
Sword and board, and he's got a tabard with a Hieronius symbol on it, which I think is a fist with lightning or something.
Yes, it's a clenched fist with a lightning bolt.
Oh god.
And a short sword sticking out of his back.
So does the reek of divine the divine latch to you as well? Do I see a holy symbol or anything on you?
Yes.
Okay. Well then I will probably engage you in a long-winded debate about religion.
Okay.
Don't attack him right away.
Oh, I'm not
Yeah.
going to attack him. I'm just going to be like, so my god's the knee taker, and you're looking pretty damn tall. How about I cut you down to my size?
I was figuring
How about
you'd
I
handle
give
my
you a
light
balance
work.
to stand on?
But no, otherwise, if your cause is if you are heading in our direction, I'll happily take a paladin.
I'm heading your direction.
That's finally another holy man, my kind of dude, somebody who understands violence.
My name is Cork, by the way. They
As
call
in
me that
cork,
because-
as in a thing that floats in water.
Yes, because my dad didn't want another mouth to feed, so when my mom was in childbirth, he got drunk and tried to put a cork in her. So.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's the spontaneity of an actual, this is entirely unscripted, folks. I was like, Cork, okay, Cork, like Ireland's, or like perhaps, he fights with the field. Nope.
Nope.
No, next time Bill's gonna introduce him as Baron.
Yes.
This is Baron Cork.
Yes.
I'd call it Baron. That would be a very kind of ironic thing like that Sir Outlier would do. That's probably what I'm going to end up doing the entire time.
Okay.
I mean, it beats Shiny Ass.
Yeah, this is true.
Or Tin Head.
I'd answer to that.
What, Tin Head?
Yeah, I would answer to that.
That's fair. Question then, Man of Faith. You're traveling. You want to travel with us, right?
Yes, indeed.
Okay. Are you sufficiently furnished with magical armament?
All I have is my chainmail and my shield, longsword, and a morning star. All regular stuff.
Well, congratulations, sir. You've been promoted to head of bodyguard duty, which means you get a +2 longsword.
Oh, awesome.
Nice.
Could have given
Wow.
all my bodyguards.
Wow, thank you very much.
It is on loan.
Okay.
Just full stop. It's on loan. But by all means, you take it. I have the gauntlets. You get the magic sword. Spread it out. And this also means, though, if it comes down to one of us standing in that doorway and dying, we know which one it's going to be, right?
That's okay.
It also comes with the understanding that I don't have anything to give you, except my word that I am just and honorable and lawful and good.
Yeah, he's wearing fine gloves, and you can see a little folding pouch on his belt. So,
Hey, I just keep my smoke in there. It's cool.
No,
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding you.
we know Turgo's not a thief. He's never found a trap. So
They found me. And you haven't found half the stuff that I've stashed.
Didn't Lord Corion... Is Lord Corion coming back? Do we know?
I haven't heard from him on any social media platforms, unfortunately.
Okay, so we won't scavenge. So we won't scavenge the magical plate armor off his body just yet.
no.
Okay, well, we'll leave that.
I suggest we sort of say his character and those hirelings will come with us to Greyhawk and stay there. We can meet up with him again some later date.
I agree. I just wanted
he
to know.
can hang out with the
point.
he can hang out with the jeweler fence or whatever that I took him from. And
Oh God!
Discount.
Yep.
He's not, I can just tell you straight up, he's not doing that.
You want your lackey back? No. Okay. Okay. So anyway, yeah, you'll get Corion's sword, and well, I guess technically it was his sword, and that was my sword, but whatever. All right, on to Greyhawk, or are we hanging out here?
Stay the night, on to Greyhawk. And I meant to cast Detect Magic on the jewelry. I will do so in the privacy of a room.
I will hang out and peruse with anyone available.
Okay. There are plenty of rooms right now. There's, as I said, not too many travelers here at the inn. There are no untoward encounters during the night. The food is good. It's a barley and lamb stew. Hey, speaking of barley and lamb stew, the last time we talked extensively about food in the AD&D game, we were talking about dead rat porridge, were we not?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Well, I have put it off long enough. While you guys are at the inn, we're not in the middle of action at the moment. Let me just pause to say, I like them both. I like both of the recipes. I can't decide on which one is the more tasty. Now, Ricky, you're going to throw a tomato at me over at standard TCP/IP. I know that. I did not get rabbit yet to try with. I'm going to.
Okay.
I'm going to. But I've been out on my uppers, and it's been chicken and so forth and etc. So, our winners, our co-winners for the Dead Rat Porridge contest are yourself and Tucka Todd, are two entries. I will contact you about the special 3D prints that will be your awards, and congratulations, and thank you for participating.
Anytime.
Will you put the recipes in the Discord?
Yes.
And we
yes.
have a Discord.
We do have a Discord. We absolutely have a Discord. Do I still have it in my buffer here, though? Yes, I do. There's the Discord listed in the chat. You guys can come join us for talk about classic RPGs, shitposting, recipes, 3D printing, all kinds of stuff. Come on and join us, shitposting. But anyway, so the night passes uneventfully, and you awaken in the morning, and hey, Cork is still there. He didn't take your +2 longsword and disappear over the horizon. So
Passes the first test.
Yep,
Check.
passes the first test. Check number 1, right?
So whither will thou goest, adventurers?
To Greyhawk, and I was going to check to see if the jewelry was magical. You haven't said yes or no.
The jewelry is not magical.
Thank you.
So your journey to Greyhawk is entirely uneventful, and you find yourselves once again at one of the postern gates, waiting to be allowed in with the standard tolls.
What is it, a silver piece a head?
It's 5 silver piece a head, sir.
Okay. There's 9, 10 of us now. I will take it from the party treasure.
So 50 silver pieces or 5 gold.
That's easy enough.
All right. Or if you have Electrum, they'll take 25 Electrum if you want to just do it in Electrum.
Nope. 1.
Oh, you have 1.
87,000 Electrum. Did I just cut a gold piece in half and like hand them 2.5 gold?
Yeah, I took out the party treasure and I did not pay them in all the copper pieces. So.
Yes, you can. If there are on most coins of the realm, there are notches, so you can give him half of a gold piece if that's what you wish to do.
Nah. By the way, Abner, totally pay them in copper pieces. They deserve it.
No.
They won't let us in next time.
Yeah, exactly. Never let us in again.
It'll be a long wait while they count those coins.
Yeah. Here's your tip bag, mother.
So we enter it's all paid. Turgo, I assume you will be heading off to our friend the gemsmith, jeweler and gemsmith.
Absolutely.
And I will go with him.
I just wanted to say, if you get a good appraisal, Abner is quite interested in, as perhaps part of his split, the bracelet and the ring.
The bracelet and the ring, eh?
Yeah.
Well,
I'm not sure what the actual split will be, but I think that would be under the amount of the split. So.
Cool.
Seems reasonable to me. It's your money.
Yep.
Invest
Wearable
it as you
money.
wish.
Yeah. So with that, Abner and his entourage will head off to the Green Dragon. I think it is called, right? That's where all the fancy people stay.
Yes, the Green Dragon Inn is owned by, it is rumored to be partially owned, invested in, what have you, by none other than Lord Robilar, but no, there's never been anyone to confirm or deny it.
Cork, you're willing to come along. If you want, you could come along with me. You could get yourself a room in the Green Dragon. I'm not sure if you've been in Greyhawk before, but I could talk your ear off on some of the locales.
That sounds good to me.
Come along.
Okay, so the only person or persons you see of note there is and this is in the morning. You've arrived in Greyhawk. Near the Green Dragon Inn, you encounter there is a woman and possibly a lady in waiting with her. She sees the two of you and regards you with a smile and a slight curtsy, but they go on about their business and otherwise do not stop unless you wish to stop and interact with them.
Nope.
All right. Both of you give me a save versus spells at -4. I'm kidding. You got to make them jump, people. You got to startle them. Okay. Those of you going to the lapidary, he is pleased as always to see you and says, my friends, you have returned from your dangerous haunts. What is it? What is it? I can see by the gleam in your eye. You must have most interesting items to show me.
Well, it's either that or murderous intent, you know.
Of course. Yeah, you know he's got enough contingency spells in here that even if you killed him, you would not. Yeah, the gendarme would basically be sweeping ashes out the front door.
No. One does not simply rob the lapidary in Greyhawk.
No, one does not.
So I have come bearing many fine treasures. I trust that my usual appraisal has been as accurate as always, and that you will attempt to talk me down from my asking price, as always. And then we'll come to an agreement somewhere between your low level and my high level.
All part of the great game, my friend, and you play it so very, very well. Let us see.
I'm just here to make sure one of you doesn't kill the other.
Perish the thought. One of my best suppliers, I would never. Probably. Most likely.
If I paid you enough, you would.
All right. So he takes a look at them. He's got his loop out that he clicks multiple lenses over and turns it over, and he's looking for like maker's stamps and pulls out a small wooden pick and cleans out a little bit of the yuck, and he checks a gem fitting every now and again. He takes one of the he takes all of the pieces and in discrete spots drips what you think must be probably some kind of acid on them, which of course, being almost completely pure metals and gemstones, it's not really affected. Don't at me any chemistry majors in the comments about that. No, passes a lodestone. It doesn't stick to any of them. He kind of paces up and down. I've been remiss. Snaps his fingers. Out come the cakes, the tea, the wine. Makes some banter with you about various topics that have nothing to do with this. It's all part of the process, and eventually sits down, cracks his knuckles, and says, well, you should know that you're causing quite the inflationary issues here in Greyhawk, but there is many a sodded lord and robust lady of tradesmen and such like that appreciates such things, or I can turn them into lesser valued items that they would appreciate even more. And for that, I can offer you 18,000 gold, which I think is more than your price.
Of course, you would think that it's more than fair.
Of course.
I think that it's a little bit less than fair, but there is something you should be aware of. The bracelet and the ring are not included. Begging my pardon.
All right, so I, the Dungeon Master, must consult my notes real quick here. So
that was it, right, Abner? The bracelet and the wrought ring. The wrought bracelet, wrought ring pair.
Yeah, to be taken as part of my cut.
Yeah, those were worth 1,300 according to my appraisal.
Okay. He picks them up and gives them a very thoroughly polishing with a silk cloth before he hands them back to you, but does hand them back to you and says, if you would like a deeper cleaning for any of these, of course, it's gratis, but I understand. So subtracting then we come to a reasonable sum of 16,700.
Well, meaning no disrespect, of course. I expected that price. Sans the 2 items I removed from the pile.
I see.
Perhaps we would have had a deal. This coral, what a wonderful specimen. I have seen nothing like it.
Yes, indeed. It is a rare item. I can offer you 17,700.
With no further mention of inflationary issues next time I come.
Well, I promise to do my best. Fewer mentions of inflationary matters.
That is kind of our business, inflating the market, as it were.
Plus, he knows how to unload this stuff without moving the market.
And much of it does not remain here in Greyhawk. Indeed, I am told that some of it does not even remain here on Earth, but the less said of those issues, the better.
Well, good man, I suppose is that we have come to an agreement.
Okay.
I'll take the 17.7.
He writes you the voucher for it, and you know you can have the gold moved over into your bank in the central Greyhawk Gold and Treasure Repository with that writ.
Excellent.
So then, are we splitting? Are we splitting it then just between you and I, and the cart, and then Abner gets a half share for the with in addition to the jewelry?
I mean, personally, I'm cool with just giving Abner those things and not taking them out of his cut,
Yeah, as well.
Yeah, so we could just take the 17.7, split it.
Divided by 4, and then Darwish gets a half share, the cart gets a half share. And,
we could do that. That seems reasonable.
Because Darwish is out of cut, I believe.
Yeah, I think he gets a half. I mean, I want to give him money regardless to make sure that guy stays loyal and useful. I mean, he's taking XP.
Well, yeah, and that money for him is XP.
Right.
Okay, so you are giving 1,300 gold specifically to Abner, basically in the form of the ring and the bracelet, right?
Works for me.
Yes, plus the addition of his cut.
Right, plus the addition of his cut. Now, and this is more for because I know you guys know this, but for Baron von Headbanger's sake and for those in the audience, treasure for XP in AD&D is, of course, a thing, and I won't go into the merits of it. I think it's good. I think it's a good metric to use. Grab a copy of the Dungeon Master's Guide. You can get that through Drive-Thru RPG. You can get it through DM's Guild, the first edition Dungeon Master's Guide, of course, and Gary explains it all out, the abstraction of it. However, you bringing treasure into the city and putting it in a secure place is different from how many coins you have in your hand at a given moment. So XP shares will be greater than the actual money you get. Do you understand?
Abner deserves all the extra XP he can get.
Okay, that's fine. So you had Darwish and the three of you, and how many men at arms fighting the trogs?
There was 4 men at arms. There was 2 for TK and 2 for Abner.
Okay. What shares of treasure are they getting? Are the men at arms getting? Are they just getting?
They're getting their pay.
They're getting their pay. Okay. All right. So monster XP will be what is divided among them. So among the 4 of you, so we divide. We take Abner's treasure share out because that's not being divided up, and then we divide the remainder by the 4 of you. That is 5,300 treasure XP each, except for Mark's character Abner, who gets 6,600 because he is taking a larger share of treasure.
I get
Plus
5,000.
10%, I hope.
Yep.
I get 5,400 gold.
Mm-hmm. And you will add that 10% yourselves.
Yeah, I don't qualify for that. Charisma is my only 18 stat.
A dwarf with a surpassing sense of wit, charm, erudition.
It comes in dry sarcasm and fart jokes, and those are the only 2 ways it comes out.
Nonetheless, the folks at large are overwhelmed with your amity and your sense of fair play and personal magnetism. You can tell a fart joke in a way that makes everyone around want to listen.
It's the nose.
It's the nose.
It's the nose. That's a Cyrano reference, kids. Most of you don't know who that is.
And what type of money does that give us? So 17,700.
I got 5K and change. So now I've got 6K, so I'm on my way to saving up for my next level.
So 17,700 divided by 4 is 4425, excepting for Abner, for whom it is 5725.
Thank you.
And you said the XP was 4,500?
He said the XP was 5,300.
5,300.
5,300.
Yeah.
5,300. Thank you. Now I have to divide that by 2 and do math.
Math is always the hard part.
And even with 2650, I'll have to figure out the monster, the monster XP for you guys yet.
Yeah, that was hopefully a bit significant.
I'm very close to leveling.
Excellent.
I need like 730 XP. Well,
yeah. I'm ready to level as a cleric, and I'm like 2,400 XP away from leveling as a fighter, which isn't inconsiderable. So,
yeah, I'm 1,200 away from 7th level thief.
whoa.
nice.
Yeah, that'd be a major accomplishment for me if I lived that long.
Yep. I just have to save up my pennies because it's going to get expensive for me to level here soon.
Yeah, I'm sitting on 8,750 gold, and I'm like, yeah,
and
I'm
it's
gonna
like
need every
and
penny
it's
of that.
1,500 per level, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like, I guess that'd make me 250 short. I ain't spending no extra money on Darwest. That fool can fend for himself.
I can. Well, I got the cash. I can loan you, so it's.
Yeah, we need to get you. We need to get you set up.
It's going to be a little
5th
while.
level cleric.
Yeah, but it's going to be a little while. It's going to be a little while for me though. So let's worry about everybody else first. Everybody shelled out for me already before, so I'm just going to save up my pennies and go.
You have enough XP for a cleric?
Oh, yes, I do. The only downside is that we'd have to pool all of our money again, blah, 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 and I have to level my cleric and fighter at the same time if I understand DMG rules correctly. So,
No, you can level classes independently. You don't have to level up
But then, how does that work with the whole hit points thing? Because I roll both my hit points and then average them together.
You roll your hit points, have it. There you go. That's the
Yeah.
half. That's the half from that class.
I see. Okay. I mean,
Or thirds in thirds if you have 3 classes.
I mean, if we really want to, I could level, but at the same time, I'd rather just save it and let everybody start building their nest egg, etc.
But we're talking about the trade-off between that and 3rd level cleric spells.
That's also that's fair.
I want to see what the monster XP is.
Right.
Did someone say that in splitting the money treasure that there's cart treasure?
Yes, 1/2 share. So half of
4425.
4425.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
Half of that went to cart. The other half went to Darwash.
Yep, got it. I'll let you deal with the Darwash problem, but I'm in charge of the cart. So 22125. Abner's gonna open up a bank account for the cart, I guess, for the party.
4413.5 then.
I'll go ahead and take that other 0.5.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess there'll be a bank account for the party. I'll keep track of that because we're not gonna leave sacks of gold on the cart. That'd be dumb.
Right. And I do like the idea of a little bit of separate savings of emergency funds. I think that was smart. So thank you.
DM.
Yes.
I'd like to go shopping.
Okay.
Shopping montage.
Not for anything big. I want. Well, actually, yes, it is big. I would like to see if anybody has a magical greatsword lying around. I think I could use a magic greatsword. And as I have not found one in my travels, magical armor would be nice too. If somebody has a set of, say, magical dwarf plate mail or ring mail lying around, that'd be cool. But I'm really in the market for a greatsword.
Of the 4 shops that sell magic items here in Greyhawk, there's currently no armor or weapons, unfortunately. It is trifling things, potions, scrolls, the like.
That's all right. Speaking of potions, I'm going to go over to the local alchemist then, hand him some of the parts from the lizard men.
Okay. The troglodytes,
as in the troglodytes, and ask if there's anything he can do with these flasks of I don't know, stinking cloud or something useful, a potion of protection from nausea or cure nausea.
Well,
how he operates.
I could certainly attempt perhaps oil of slipperiness, but we'll see. I will work with these and attempt to create admixtures and report back.
Let me know what you come up with. You're here, you're working for us, we're going to put your butt to work.
Jimmy Invictus is asking, in rules as written AD&D, does gold translate to XP? Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
And it's far better than killing monsters.
All right. Yes, you will find that you would get about $7,000 from offing a huge ancient red dragon for killing the dragon itself. Its treasure is, to quote Luke Skywalker, more wealth than you can imagine.
Yeah. By the time everything was said and done, my party got like 84 experience each or something stupid for killing the dragon.
Mm.
Because it didn't have any treasure with it. So it was just like, that was it.
Oh, that's when you go hire a ranger and you try and find out where that sucker lived.
They know where it is. They just haven't found his treasure yet.
Okay, let's see. So troglodytes, not to be confused with the far better and much more delicious chocolatites. Holiday season is coming up.
We'll have to make little lizard-shaped chocolatites. I love it.
All right, so So I need to subtract some values real quick here because I just realized that troglodyte leader types are worth more. So let's see.
While math is happening, Abner talks to Cork. What brings you to this adventuring life? What are you after?
I'm mostly after. I want to make enough to build my own temple in Hieronius.
So you're driven by the quest for going after this divine art.
Yeah. Plus, I want to
Another
eradicate all evil. Yeah.
Eradicate
Sounds
all
like
evil
my kind of
could
dude.
be good. Well, I think you could help us as long as you don't mind the walking through dark dungeons lit only by torchlight, crazy monsters attacking from every direction, the occasional giant rat that's not very sanitary.
Occasionally recruiting ogres,
Occasionally.
Grubs,
liberating an entire
worms,
tribe of
little
hobgoblins.
We haven't had much
berry
trouble.
into your skin.
We haven't had much trouble with those rock grubs since Lynx the fighter was around.
Yeah, well, now we got another warrior type, so you know how.
Well,
Okay, yeah. So words of the wise: do not touch any meaty things in the dungeon.
Oh, also watch out for what did Corian get eaten by? Was it a gray ooze or was it an ochre jelly?
He wasn't eaten by it.
Well,
It was the gray ooze, right?
Yeah.
I carried his remains back in his helmet. Like,
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
yeah.
Abner's flipping through his various stacks of books that are like old notes and journals from other players and other characters.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he was soup at one point.
Yeah.
So
to sum up, don't touch anything. And if it moves, likely it's to be killed. Likely. Except for Carlos. Carlos is a good guy.
And when we're not sneaking around, you go first. When we are sneaking around, I go first. And in those situations, you're immediately behind me to where I can run and hide behind you.
And Abner will always be behind his bodyguards. Either behind or between his bodyguards.
Yeah, and you're now officially all of our bodyguards.
Well, I'm only second level, so.
Okay.
Perfect.
So,
That's 2 more levels than my bodyguards.
so for all the troglodytes, you each receive 224 experience points.
Sweet.
hey, that's easy math. That's 112 for me.
Slightly closer to 6th level. Slightly.
Yeah, I'm less than 1,000 away now.
So on the topic of whether Sir Outlier should go, I don't know, priest harder. Yes, I think we should. What funds do you need?
Yeah.
I need, so it's 1,500 XP or 1,500 gold per level. I have exactly enough to take me from level 4 to level 5. With that 6K, I have exactly enough.
Then good. Discussion ended.
I just would have rather had an extra. I really want a magic sword. Damn it. But and I don't want a long sword.
Yeah.
Because
I was about to say,
swords.
you
They're
had
arming
a sword. You gave it to somebody.
No, that's an arming sword that is mislabeled as a long sword. Thank you, Victorians. So I refuse to use it.
Abner only knows sharp things that are about this tall that he never takes out of his sheaths, and so anything else is long. It's a long sword.
Those are all long
swords.
Do you know what people in the medieval period called those things? Sword.
openers.
They were pointy sticks. Yeah,
Anything bigger than this is a sword.
yeah. So it's a
Unless you're
sword.
German.
You had a sword. You gave the new guy a sword, and now you want a sword. Abner does not understand.
I want a bigger sword.
Fine.
Sometimes it is the size that
you
counts,
have.
kids.
Yeah, you have something that you're making up for or something. I don't know.
Exactly.
Doomsword, Turgo, as you are leaving Lapidary Street, you are accosted by a pair of beggars looking beggarly. Please, sir, just a coin. Just to buy some soup and a crust of bread, sir. Please. Please, just a coin.
Are they about to be dead? I think not. Who are you?
Just
I don't recognize you.
no one, sir. We're just beggars. My wife and I, we're starving, sir. Please.
Well, I suggest you keep your distance first off.
All right. They give you wide berth and move on up the street since you're not yielding.
The whole wait.
They shuffle to a stop. They turn
know
around.
about this quarter anyway.
Oh, the
Valuable information, such as that which might be heard by people
oh.
who inhabit the area, could be useful.
Let's see. Oh well, this here is the main street, sir. The gate is yonder to the south, and there is where all the lords such as yourself and the kingly types such as yourself, they trade in their wares of gold and silver and platinum.
Yeah, so nothing weird's been going on while I've been gone, eh?
No, sir, not as I understand it. No.
I suggest you spend half of this on a bath. Eat with the other. I'll toss him a gold piece, whatever.
Okay. Alrighty, he snatches it out of the air and his eyes light up and he says, "Oh, thank you, my lord. We'll have a warm place to sleep tonight and a hot meal. Thank you, sir. Thank you." And as they turn and go, there are folks getting up from stoops and leaning against lampposts. "Alms, alms, please, alms for the poor. Alms, sir, please, sir."
Yeah, back in Divers we have a saying: you snoozeth, you loseth.
All right, yeah, you make it pretty clear that they're not getting any, and they move on. Yes.
DM, can I level?
Yes, you may take a week and train. You are training as a fighter,
I'm training as a holy man.
as a clerk. Okay. So, you can pay largesse to the church.
And I'm still only a curate, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a canon yet.
Okay.
So I guess I'm going to put senior curate next to my name then.
Senior Vice President of Curate.
Yep.
Alrighty. So what level are you going to?
5th.
5th. You are a prefect. Now I know. In the so the bit of trivia here, folks. If you crack open any copy of the player's handbook, except for a true first printing, you will notice that on the cleric's table, the 5th level cleric does not have a level title. And yes, level titles are important. The first print run copy had prefect misspelled as perfect. At 5th level, you can be perfect. I wondered for many years too. So they said, well, we should fix this. Contacted Random House. Random House changed the slug, but they never put in the corrected. They never put it in the typo.
So I'm a perfect hero then.
You're a perfect prefect.
I am a perfect hero because I'm a fighter. So, and I'm not going to ever let that go. So I am a perfect hero.
Okay, so you may train and take your average hit die, which would be 1/2 of a D8, I believe, for a cleric. And that will take some time. In the interim, in the week that he's doing that, we'll just go around the table. Baron, what is Cork doing? Did we lose the Baron?
You may be muted. Well, I know you're muted. You may be trying to talk while muted.
He must have been experiencing problems. He has dropped off. So we will welcome him back as soon as he comes rushing back in.
I gained 2 hit points.
That's already. Mark, what is Abner doing in the week that your perfect prefect hero is?
He is just going to be wandering about, seeing the sights, hanging out at the library or whatever, doing not specific research, doing magic usury kind of things. There was in our Discord channel, I posted some stuff that he was going to sell. We can deal with that afterwards. Just the stuff off the cart, just to get rid of. We can handle that later. But yeah, so he'll just be bumming around. Actually, probably go to the clothing store to buy some fancy robes, not the insanely fancy ones, but he has to make sure all of his people look good with good tabards, etc.
All right. Let's see. High-level NPCs to hide behind: a demon grudge, OP talking sword, and god calls. Yakov Yakerson. That sounds amazing. This is this is a little more mundane than that, but let's see. So, Baron, what is Cork doing in the week that you've got? You've just met these guys. You're hanging around with them. What are you doing?
Yeah, just hanging out, getting to know everybody better, that kind of thing. Listening to their tales from Castle Greyhawk and all that.
Okay. I mean, you've heard of the place, vague stories of it. You know, it's rumored that it was built, well, the one fact that is known about it, it was built by Zagig as a place to conduct his insane experiments, and something went awry, and Zagig hasn't been seen since. But beyond that, you're not really 100% sure. So let's see. Let me have a quick gander here. There we go. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. As you are there, are you guys making the Green Dragon Inn your base of operations at the moment?
Abner will.
All right.
Yeah, I think we've moved up.
Okay. So, Cork, you're in the storied Green Dragon Inn. Again, it's a place you've heard of. And there's a there's a fetching lass who seems quite attracted to you. Well, that is, you know, she basically kind of attaches herself to your elbow and asks you, "So, buy me a drink."
Me?
Well, yes, of course.
Okay, sure. What's your pleasure?
She smiles warmly and says, in my line of work, that's usually something that I ask you.
Okay, I'm young, but not that young. I'm going to have to pass.
Oh, are you sure?
Quite sure. Thank you for the offer, though.
She leans in and says, and she has peppermint scent on her breath. She says, you know, I know a thing or two about religion, and Hyronian paladins don't have to take a vow of chastity. Well, still, I shan't push the manor. You know where to find me. Okay, and as she's walking away, you feel a slight tug on your belt.
Uh-oh. Can I reach down and grab what's tugging at my belt?
Yeah, she's, she's got her hand on your hip, kind of, seductively sliding it along and says, oops, sorry, I had to have a little sample of the goods. Toodaloo, and walks away. Your belt pouch with any of your belongings and whatnot is quite secure, but it is the same side that was on. So you suspect that may be much less affection than just working.
Vince is calling for swift justice. I tend to agree with him.
Take that hand off. All right. So, yeah, she goes across the room and starts working with a. Oh, Dave. Oh, Dave. No. We can't do that. Yeah. So she's discussing business matters across the room now. Otherwise, you are unmolested. Mark, is Abner doing anything particular?
Like I said, he'll be wandering around the local libraries, not any specific researches. If Cork wants to hear anything about Castle Greyhawk, he will talk Cork's ear off, since it is his specific realm of study. Pulls out maps, notes.
Okay.
Cast sleep effectively through lecture.
You talking to me this whole time?
Verbal component. You're like Jonathan Hillerman's Higgins character in Magnum PI when people would ask him about the war. Which, I mean, I think it's a mark of age. When I was 13 and watched Magnum PI and I was a kid, I was with TC and AJ, or TC and Magnum and Rick when I wanted him to shut up. Now, at my age, I'd sit down next to Higgins and say, "So, you fought at Normandy. Tell me about it." I would sit there and listen in rapt attention to World War II stories from Higgins.
Absolutely.
Okay, so it is the afternoon as you are approaching the library when a rather bedraggled, you're not sure if it's a child or a halfling or a gnome or a really skinny dwarf. No, probably not a dwarf or a gnome, no beard. Hobbles up to you, clearly has a club foot, comes over and says, please, my lord, may I have a coin? Please, just for to be honest, I have a few apples and a bit of cheese, but I would surely like some hot water. The nits are something fierce.
Abner steps back slightly. Says, yeah, here. And he kind of tosses 3 copper off to the boy. Go get yourself to the Temple of Eltroa. They'll help you out.
He scrambles and, you know what? Those coins don't hit the damn ground. He literally snatches those out of the air. And as he moseys on, you look over your shoulder, and there are 4 hopeful-looking types ambling up towards you.
Amber lifts his skirts effectively and starts walking faster towards the library, looking back over his shoulder, hoping to escape.
All right. Oh, they're hot on your heels. Please, sir, please, a coin, sir, a coin. I too have it, sir.
He throws more copper pieces behind him. It's like chaff.
You hear just as soon as there's like
working.
And there's a scrum going on behind you.
I didn't think I needed to take my bodyguards to the library. God damn, this place is bad.
Yeah, you're making it rain. What do you expect?
So, just out of curiosity, I mean, I know it's relatively nothing to your character, but how many copper did you throw over your shoulder?
5. 3 to the kid to begin with, then 5 over my shoulder as I scampered away.
Okay.
Fun fact for you all, because I'm sure none of you will care. The hurdy-gurdy developed as an instrument that was actually played by the disabled as a means of acquiring tips. It actually became a mainstay instrument for the disabled, as begging was a primary way of money. So the cottage industry, and then it was all sold by big business.
You don't just get a role-playing game here, guys. All right, you get history. You get a history lesson, pop culture, history, everything. It's all here. You going to get that anywhere else? No, you're going to get a bunch of professional voice actors rambling on with pre-scripted in-game events. Not here. So, what is your reaction to this, Cork? You know, he's throwing coins over his shoulder. There's a scrum going on back there.
I think it's kind of funny, actually.
Okay.
Just the image of him holding his skirts up and running, and everybody
All right.
charging after.
Are you just kind of watching him go on, or are you sticking with him?
I'm sticking with him.
Okay. Oh, crud. I dropped a D6 on the dark, unlit floor. Toss a platinum piece and see who survives. Not Abner. Funk. Kill the golden goose? Never heard of it. All right, so you're spending time in the library. You're not being accosted by anything but the dusty, rich smell of old books. What are you looking for specifically? And is Cork doing any specific looking, or is he just accompanying Abner?
I'm just accompanying.
Okay.
I did not actually have a specific thing in mind. This was just a blanket passing time.
Okay.
But if there's anything in there, I'll look up, see if there's anything I did not already know about Zagic, for instance, in the library.
Okay. This particular library, give me a D20 roll. What is your wisdom?
Wisdom. Oh, well. His wisdom is an 11, and I roll a 5.
Okay, so yeah, you're able to peruse the stacks, and this is not, this is a medieval library.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of semi-dark ages. Yes, I know the dark ages didn't really exist. So it's less like a Sararak. Okay, he's right. Yeah, no, it's like here's a stack of interesting looking books. Let me take these to a table. Clunk.
Thank you for saving me the lecture, and the archives are still like that.
That's fine. That's fine.
Oh, I had a thought of something to look for.
All right.
He's going to try and find anything on any kind of champions of Hyronius, any kind of battles fought, anything like that. Interesting.
Well, one place that the the warriors of Heronius, and it's not that long ago. I mean, this is relatively recent. Was of course a few champions of Heronius, paladins such as yourselves, fought at the Battle of Emerity Meadows 10 years ago. But for more obscure information, give me a wisdom roll, please.
Okay. The D20?
Yes.
My wisdom's 15. If that. I rolled an 8.
Okay, so yeah, you know, there are stories and tales of some named paladins of Heronius. One thing that there is a slim volume. It surprises you because the vellum in the book is actually new enough that it is not just stained kind of that dingy yellowish color that it almost immediately gets. And stamped on the cover is the unauthorized tales of Brand Grayson, Paladin, or I'm sorry, Knight Chevalier of Heronius, and you know that is a very high level of cleric in the Heronian theology. But it is a slim volume.
Okay, I'll open that up and start pulling over that.
Okay. Let's see. There we go. As you are both perusing this, a scribe makes his way over to you and separately asks each of you, I see, yes, you are perusing books of history. I think you will find many here. So, while I have your attention, not to interrupt, the library relies on the assistance of donors like you to
and
keep
the MacArthur Foundation.
A grant from the Chubb Foundation and WGBH Boston. Yes, we all grew up in the 70s and watched public broadcasting. So yeah, he's
What is the typical donation?
Can one put a price on knowledge, sir?
Oh, no, of course not.
I thought not, sir. Perhaps 10 gold pieces, and one might find, searching the stacks with the assistance of someone who has dedicated his life to this great reed and storehouse of information, would not be too much to ask.
Abner, what is your name, young scribe?
You're not sure if young is right. He has graying hair around a tonsure, so his name is Mr. Atoz, A-T-O-Z.
Mr. Atoz. Right now I'm not doing any directed research. Perhaps next time I come into the city I will. But here, for the library, and I hand him 3 platinum pieces.
He kind of glances down like you've handed him 3 silver pieces and sort of glances down. He's like, yes, of course, a small Jesus Christ! That goes right into his belt pouch there. It's like, you had my interest. Now you have my attention.
As I'm saying, I'm not looking for anything in particular at the moment, just passing the time in this fine library.
Of course.
Next time I'm here, I can get your assistance in finding things I need.
Yes. Without a doubt. Cork, the librarian, who is looks positively dead on, just with shock, walks over to you and says, allow myself to introduce myself. Allow me to introduce myself. I am the head librarian, Mr. Atoz. Do you find your studies of the knighthood orders of Herodias rewarding?
Absolutely.
Excellent. Then perhaps you would consider a donation to the library.
I don't have 3 platinum pieces.
You say that? I mean, you're in another part of the library, so he doesn't press you for 3 platinum pieces. But
I don't have much on me.
any donation will help, sir. And he's kind of he's holding a little tin cup, just softly rattling it because it's a library. Just puts it on the table, slides it towards you.
We'll take your mama's dentures. They got gold in them.
Also, a couple of gold in there then.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you. All right. So what you're able to garner is about Castle Greyhawk. I mean, these are old books. They don't really start with. I mean, books of olden times. They don't like have neat chapter breaks. Some of them don't have page numbers. Some of them just like end in the middle of explaining something. It's that kind of information, just scraps of doggerel. But you're able to kind of assemble. How long do you wish to sit there perusing the books, Abner and Cork?
Abner thought he would just be doing this for the week he has to wait for Sir Outlier.
Okay.
As I'm trying to say, I, the player, do not have a specific thing that Abner's looking for. He's just going to waste some time in the library.
Okay. I think Dave Mills knows where that comes from. So wasting time in the library. Let's see. The dice have been interesting tonight as far as. Yeah, I mean, there's stuff that, there's like, there's a volume that you find that's titled, and it's a stack of books about this high. Some of them are that thick. Some of them are that thick, There's a very slim volume, almost like a palimpsest, that says that the so-called Castle Greyhawk that does not actually exist is merely an illusion created by the inhalation of too much swamp gas and the observation of rotting pines piled one on top of the other, slowly turning a grayish color so as to resemble stone. The afflicted individuals, possessed by the ill spirits of this place, wander off into the wilderness and then are either lost to the elements or return to the city of Greyhawk with tales. It's basically debunking. It's like the Flat Earth Society explanation of Castle Greyhawk. And then
it's Project Blue Book for Castle Greyhawk.
Yeah.
It's swamp gas. The planet Venus, there's some swamp gas.
Yeah. So, you don't really find like you don't open a book and like all of my maps fall out into your lap.
Yeah. Was not expecting it. Just cool.
What are all these little numbers here? Cork, you study the few volumes on Heronian knighthood orders. There are tales of adventure, romances in the old sense of the word romance, histories. Most of this you've heard before, but the thing about a high-level cleric named Brand Grayson that is so brand new, you think if you scrubbed one of the pages hard with your thumb, you could actually probably rub some of the ink a little bit. Not that you would do that. You're lawful good. Is there any specific knowledge you wish to gain, or just to kind of get a little bit of insight and information? Because a lot of this is stuff you had to know before they would even send you through the ceremony.
I'm just trying to pick up any tidbits or anything that I didn't know before.
Okay. Well, what we'll do is based on what you know and what you've gotten here, if you have a specific question down the roll, we'll decide whether or not that's something that you might have picked up. Doomsword, I'm guessing you are playing cards, drinking, and whoring, and so on.
Yeah, mostly trying to show Darwish a good time. However, there is a little bit of shopping that I would like to explore.
All right. What would you like to do?
All this stuff is just kind of made up. I know that I would like a high quality mirror, something silver or something like that, if possible.
Easily done. Just you can price one in the player's handbook. I cannot remember. I know like a metal mirror is in there. Let's see.
Yeah, is there a metal mirror in there?
There's a small silver one and a large one.
Is there? I didn't know if that was like a 2E only thing.
Nope.
Mirror large metal or mirror small silver.
Yes, a small silver mirror is 20 gold pieces. A large metal one is 10.
For half the price, you get one made with mercury.
All right. So I'd like a silver mirror. What about some kind of caltrops?
I think caltrops. Yes, you can buy caltrops. I'll have to get back to you on the price.
Okay. Yeah, those might have been like UA stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
What about some kind of lightweight rope? I don't want to. I'd like to have 25 feet of rope or so, but I don't want to be carrying around thick hemp stuff.
50 feet of rope is 4 silver pieces. If you want like a lightweight hemp rope, we'll say it's 2 silver pieces for 25 feet, but it will not hold a person. It'll hold 50 pounds. You can get 50 pounds, and it basically winds up into a ball about double the size of your fist.
50 pounds, you say?
Yes.
Is silk an option?
No.
No? Well,
No.
I tried.
Yeah, I decided
training,
not to ask that. But thanks for trying for me. I'm saving the best for last, right? What about say like a grappling hook that's not super heavy and bulky? I don't want some huge boat anchor hanging off my hip. But maybe something perhaps a little bit collapsible or some sort of thing like that.
Collapsible, no, but an iron grapnel is, weight wise, it has a bulk of about 30 gold pieces, so maybe 3 pounds.
Maybe 3 pounds, so they're not huge.
Yeah, it's about like that.
Yeah. Is that, from your perception of that, does that seem to be something that I feel like the character could carry and not affect his ability to move silently and that sort of thing?
Yeah. No. You twine your rope around that and it won't clang. And if you're using it and trying to move silently, that's a different story altogether.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, I'll go ahead and pick up one of those. I don't have a problem with that. And as I said, the best for last. This came from the chat. Okay, Damien suggests that I ask for smoke bombs.
That's going to be a little bit more specific. You're going to have to go to your alchemist, and he's going to have to try and come up with something that will do more than sputter like a candle. So, Game Master is going to have to get back to you on that.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, recently one of my players had great success with packing eggshells with cayenne pepper and throwing them in people's faces.
Yeah, I'm looking for something obscuring. What I'll do is I'll visit the alchemist briefly and set him to work and pay him, whatever he requires for upfront research. And
he is.
Sorry.
No, I was just going to say he is currently working on stuff with the troglodytes, which you can tell when you get about 30 feet from his front door. Like all the windows are opening, and there are people like passing the building in the street who stop and heave up.
Yeah, I'll get him next time.
Okay.
I'll just make note of that and show Darwish a good time. You know, I'm entirely wholesome, so I partake of limited stupidity. Darwish, though, he loves being stupid.
Okay, so Darwish and you go out on the town, drinking and reveling, and a couple of interesting encounters. I love the city encounter table, folks. What can I say? All right, just some laborers, some day laborers bidding you a good day as they pass you on their way to whatever jobs they have. And the, let's see. Wow. Okay. So there's a group of about 10 men. They look fairly nondescript, but you do note as they're walking down the street opposite you that they're holding together, and they seem to be almost walking in time. You think perhaps mercenaries? Do you wish to approach them and talk to them, or just kind of tip your hat and slowly ride away?
Are they moving at like a brisk pace or in a determined manner? Do I feel, or like
no? They're just walking along. They're chatting amongst themselves.
Oh, there, man.
One of them stops and turns and says, let me see. Yes. Be of service, my lord.
I beg your pardon for the interruption, or potential of interruption, of course. I just noticed you've been passing by the street, and I make it my business to deal with those that I encounter, especially those who seem interesting.
Well, I should have you know, sir, we are bonded mercenaries, and we are under contract currently. We are. You may find us at the hiring halls, but I suspect that we shall be an employee for at least a se'nnight.
I see. However, the hiring halls, I have very limited experience with that place. Do you know if there are any other mercenary bands such as yourselves, good ones, I mean, looking for work?
Oh, there's always men late of the levies, sir. You can ask around. My name is Levitt. Levitt, yes, and these men serve under me.
So you're the captain.
After a fashion, sir. After a fashion.
I'll remember the name, and of course, I could go to the hiring hall and listen and look for myself. But I figured I'd rather take your word for it.
That you can, sir.
All right, Levitt, well met. Perhaps we shall make acquaintance again sooner rather than later.
He bows and says, "Come on, lads." And they march off.
All right.
Other than that, nothing of note. And you and Darawesh paint the town.
Yeah. When Darwesh wakes up with a hangover on each of the successive nights, I make sure he gets drunk instantaneously.
Hair of the dog.
The problem. Yes, sir.
There you go. Okay, so as I have you all here right now, Baron von Headbanger, Cork is exempt from this. We'll assume that you've already tithed at your church. The rest of you have your upkeep to pay. And that does include Darawesh. So your level in upkeep, basically that's keeping you in housing, mended clothes, any minor remedies with a lowercase r that you might need for any slight illnesses, that sort of thing. Plays you'd like to take in, bribes to guards to get into different parts of the city where they might not allow sell swords and cut purses and so on.
Showing Darwesh a good time.
Showing Darawesh a good time, yes. So that is your current level times 100 in gold pieces.
Huzzah.
And for those of you who are interested in what I'm talking about there and you're not aware.
Actually, I have a question. How does that work for multi-class?
Double.
Yeah, it's like you pay for both. That is an answer.
No. I mean, it is per person, and it is the highest level that you have. So if you're say 7th level thief, 6th level magic user, 6th level fighter, you would pay 700.
Okay.
But anyway, on page 25. Fighter, magic user, thieves are a lot of fun to play.
6, yeah.
Mm-hmm. When you get them up that high.
Right.
Or, of course, there's one of my favorites, the Elven Paladin, the fighter cleric, elf, lawful good elf. On page 25 of the Dungeon Master's Guide, you will find player character expenses. And Gary tells us each player character will automatically expend not less than 100 gold pieces per level of experience per month. This is simply support, upkeep, equipment, and entertainment. These costs are to be deducted by the Dungeon Master automatically, and any further spending by PCs is to be added to these costs. Such expense is justified by the fact that adventurers are a freewheeling and high-living lot, except, of course, for monks. Other miscellaneous expenditures by players' characters encompass such things as additional equipment expense for henchmen or hirelings, cost of hirelings, bribes, cost of locating prospective henchmen, and so on. To such costs are to be added maintenance of henchmen, 100 gold level per month, or 100 GP per level per month. And maintenance of stronghold, which you don't have. Finally, any taxation or other levies must be taken into consideration. We'll get to that later. All of these costs will help ensure that PCs have a keen interest in going out and adventuring in order to support themselves and their many associates and holdings.
Keep them poor.
Why do monks adventure then? And I find it interesting that he singles out monks as being, the pauper type, and it sounds like paladins just get to party
to help keep the poor, to give all that money back to their monastic orders, to pay for the less fortunate. That's why
paladins are partiers.
Didn't chase Abner down and pry open his fists to get all of his money.
I liked how in every Fufford and Grey Mouser story, it's like they get all this money. The next story starts, they're poor because they just spent it all.
Yeah. They spent it all, or they were cheated out of it.
Yeah. Yes. Something happened, and now you got to do it all over again.
Yeah.
There was an old Dragon Magazine article, that talked about taking money from PCs. I think he got reprinted in one of the classic anthologies or whatever.
Yes, it basically says have your character stage an orgy every month. Not necessarily the
Players.
that kind of, not the players, characters, and not necessarily an orgy in this sense comprising all sorts of excessive behaviors, not just the most prurient.
Yeah, face in the soup.
Yeah. The rich stay rich, the poor stay poor, as the 1% rule, Greyhawk. Certainly.
Oh, beautiful.
So, yes, dungeon masters, prospective dungeon masters, and players, certes, you will pay through the nose as you maneuver your way through your fantasy world if you're doing it right. This is the point where if you were playing D&D with Ron Swanson, you would hear his jaw clench across the table. All taxation is theft. Okay, so a week passes, and I say a week because, of course, TK, you played your cleric to top form. Your role playing is quite excellent, so it is but a week for you. And you come out of more studious, keener mind, and able to cast 3rd level cleric spells now, which includes things like, I believe, Cure Disease. Have you got Cure Disease now?
Yep, I've got Cure Disease now. And actually, one question I had, I've been dying to ask this for like the past hour and a half. Which is Glyph of Warding. The wording of the spell states, and I quote, a minimum of a 5 foot by 5 foot area per level can be warded. The material component includes incense, which is used to trace the spell, as well as powdered diamond of at least 2,000 GP in worth if it succeeds 50 square feet. Now,
yes,
to my understanding, a 5 by 5 square is not 50 square feet. A 5 by 10 square is. So if I just want to ward a 5 by 5 area, say, I don't know, an item such as a door or a chest or my friend's pants, how much is that going to cost?
The powdered diamond is only required
for large areas.
Right.
Yes. So for small areas, does it cost me anything?
Just the incense.
Cool. How much of the incense can I buy? How do I get fun with this?
Good incense. You know, it is infused with herbs and spices and such that are semi-rare. So you can get basically 10 long burning sticks, but it's 10 gold pieces.
That's fine. Done.
So just find the best head shop in Greyhawk and go nuts. What can I tell you?
Exactly. All right, I'm going to note that on my sheet as well. Because that spell lasts until discharged, and you can have a lot of fun with Glyphs of Warding. So
it lets you have like a password, so we could go through a doorway, but someone else could not, right?
Sadly, my group's age-old password is not age-appropriate for this stream, so I'm going to have to come up with a new one.
It's swordfish. The password's always swordfish.
Anyway, so the glyph does 2 points of electrical damage per level of the spellcaster. So in my instance, I would do 10, right? Which isn't bad. But yeah, it's the kind of thing that, like, I'd love to put this on the front door of our longhouse. Yeah. I'd love to put this on, say, my coin purse. I'd love to that kind of thing, right? So I will take as much incense as I can get my hands on. I will buy stock in it if they will let me do so. You think I'm joking? I'm
not at all.
You know,
I also suspect we won't need torches anymore.
Do I get continual light?
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't that have a material component cost?
No.
I didn't
Nope.
think so.
Let me have a look. I
Yeah,
thought it
the
had, like,
material component will be the cap that we put over the end of it to extinguish the light.
Well, actually, the material
Purple
component.
and somatic. The material component is whatever you cast it on.
The material component will be your lantern, Turgo, because you have a shutterable lantern. That light will never go off. So whenever you shutter your lantern, that's what's going to douse the light.
There's a light that never goes out.
Yeah, but I also have infravision, so I don't even need that thing.
That's not the point. The point is whoever has a bullseye lantern, I'm just going to cast it on the inside.
Right. Do I have a bullseye lantern? I didn't think that I did.
Bullseye lantern does not work for Abner because he does not need light in one strict direction. He needs a lantern. But perhaps with buying a lantern with some sort of covering, then you could cast continual light into it, and my
On
guys
the
could.
inside.
Yeah, my
At
guys
that
could.
point, even a whatever you would like to do, I personally don't give a shit.
Yep.
But
Whoever the torchbearer is.
yeah,
A lead tube with continual light cast on a pebble drop down. You got a mag light.
literally.
But for Abner's uses, he doesn't need a mag light. He needs a camp lantern, right, to illuminate the entire room. So, but yeah, let's. I was already on the shopping list. Lantern, oil. We'll still get the oil, but we're not going to get the torches then.
Abner.
Yeah.
Right.
While you're out, buy a pair of glasses.
Why?
Humor me.
No, there's no spectacles. Sorry.
Oh no, they don't have to have lenses in them. Just the frames.
They wouldn't be frames. Bill, before leaving Greyhawk, there would be some miscellaneous sundries that would have to be bought, like rations, etc. Would buying some sort of lantern that could be covered or shutters on it, but not a bullseye, but like a normal lantern, but that I could be closed so that we could cast continual light into it. Would that cost more than a normal lantern?
Yes, it will cost 5 times that of a bullseye lantern because it is a it is a big ornamental thing made of brass.
Okay, 5 times 60 gold pieces. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
It
is bulky. It is about 40 gold pieces in weight because it's a box like this big.
Okay.
So, and it takes up a considerable footprint in her backpack.
Okay.
I'm not trying to be a wet blanket. I'm just letting you know.
No. This is something he's going to end up buying 2 of them because that one could be in the Longhouse's room, and one of them can be held by a bodyguard walking around.
Alrighty. So you've got your odds and ends purchased. Your character is leveled up. You've had your encounter on the, how shall I say this without getting too demonetized, the fil de joie table of the night. And next week, then, ladies and gentlemen, I believe this party, if I'm not mistaken, you guys are going to be trucking back to Castle Greyhawk, yes?
I guess I'll be spending my first casting of 3rd level spells before we end with a continual light spell.
Right.
2 of them.
Well, I can only do 1 per day.
Yeah. But we'll get it done before we get to that.
I really wanted goggles of light. Damn it! If you have jeweler's loops, here's my beat. If you have jeweler's loops, you can have
Fair enough. You can get a pince nez with magnifying lenses on. I guess if Sean Connery can have them in the name of the rose, then I think we can let this go. Which, by the way, I just want to put in this stream is not sponsored by Umberto Eco, but I will say that if you want a good D&D book to read and yet look like a brainiac because you're not reading like Dragonlance or something, read Name of the Rose. It's got a dungeon map in it.
Yeah.
It's got a dungeon map in it.
And tricks, trapped items. It's fantastic.
Yes. Highly recommend Name of the Rose. for inspirational D&D reading, or if you just like a good mystery. The movie is pretty darn good.
Yeah.
The book is phenomenal. So with that,
So, 10-minute intermission and then the second half.
I wish I'm starting to fade, guys, but I'm de-stressing after writing 7 white papers for information systems security. But so thank you very much to my audience tonight. You guys were an absolute gas. I love having a great participatory audience, and Damien chastened me about the glasses, and as did TK. So, you guys can get those, no problem, and we'll catch up. I will be back in the player's seat tomorrow because Kyle's going to run some Classic Traveler. You'll be here, TK, will you not?
Yep.
Classic
As Outlier. I mean, no, wait, sorry, Linda Bod.
As Linda, yes. And Tergo, you will be here. I'm sorry, Doomsword, you will be here on Friday night playing some classic Gamma World.
That's correct.
And we'll just keep on keeping on, folks. Have a wonderful evening. I love you all. Thank you for being here. Stay positive. Keep positivity in your games. Even as you're mowing down characters, you don't have to be mean. In the words of the great Buckaroo Banzai, hey, don't be mean. We don't have to be mean. Have a wonderful evening, everyone. Peace out.